AVS Media Demo.
So Tiny asked you to make this SketchUp tutorial. I guess we're gonna do the model that Sir asked us to make. So what I'll start with is like a circle. So get a polygon tool, which is this one, the shapes, and then select circle.
AVS Media Demo.
We know that the radius of our circle was at 12. That's the diameter, so the radius is 6. So now I want it in the blue plane, so it's flat. You could have it in the red plane. The plane that the circle is in will change depending on your viewpoint. Right now I'm changing my view
AVS
by
Media
clicking
Demo.
the middle mouse button and moving the mouse around. Because depending on your view, your circle will change. Alright, so now I want to look from like down, so your circle is blue. You click, don't click and drag, just click. And then now you want to type like 6 centimeters, and that will be the radius. So see, circle is small, so I want to zoom in, so I'm moving the mouse wheel forward. And then from that center, I'm going to make another circle which is 3 centimeters. That will be our inner one. 3 centimeters. Press enter. And so now I have our inner circle and our outer circle. So now we need to get the centers clearly visible because we're going to base all our measurements from there. At least that's how I got my measurements. So we'll get our, where is that? Alright, so it's not there, but we should be able to get it. It's a tool, protractor. There it is. So protractor, you move it to the center, then you just select the radius, and then you move it to the other side, and then bam, you have that line. You do it again from this side down, and then now we have our center guideline just like that. So now if you want to pan, like for example move around like that, you use the middle mouse button while holding shift, and you're able to move it around.
Demo.
So next what I want to do is we need to create our centerpiece, that rectangular thing. So to do that we'll create a guideline. Well, for me, my thickness of it was 4.5 centimeters. So now we need to make a guideline that's 2.25 centimeters away from my center line. So 2.25 centimeters. And there's my guideline. Then from this line, I can go 4.5 centimeters away. And then we have our basic guideline for that triangle. the trapezoid thing, I don't know what it's called. But yeah. So now we know that the measurement from where the circle first, from where the object goes flat at that angle, we know that's like 3.5 centimeters away. So we zoom into this intersection. So you see, you know that it becomes X, we change it to X. Then you move it out to 3.5 centimeters. Press enter, and you see a small dot. That's our guideline. So now we'll take our pencil tool and we'll just do a quick little thing. So draw that line from there. You need it to be like green, or depending on what axis you're in, because when it's green it tells you that it's parallel to the axis, so you know you're lining straight. When it's like this, it's not.
AVS Media Demo.
You see the square box, a red square, yeah, that shows you that it's on the line as it says. So then I'll just do that and construct my shape. Now I need the length from the center of that circle, or from that 4.5 to the edge of the other circle.
Demo.
So what I know that the entire length of my object was 30 centimeters. So I took my tape measure tool, which is right here. I moved from this end point on the edge of the circle, and I typed 30 centimeters. And so now this should be the length of our entire object. So from there, I'll extend my line. If you hold shift for extending the line, it will constrain the line to the guideline. So you know my line is red and I can't move it away from the guideline. So I constrain the line and then click on this point, then my line will have to be on that point. my line is green,
AVS
and I'm
Media
going to
Demo.
click it onto this point, and then that's the basic shape. So now, if you remember, well, for me, my measurement, the end of this line to the center of the smaller the center of the other circle right here was 10 centimeters for me.
AVS Media
So what I'll
Demo.
do, I'll click from this edge and then put 10 centimeters, and I know that the center of my circle should lie right here. Then now from the center, from this line, I know that my center was 6 centimeters in. So you know it was on the edge of the circle, and that's the radius, 6 centimeters. So I
AVS
take my
Media
tape measure
Demo.
once again. I go from on the line, and I go 6 centimeters. I know that the center of my circle is right here. So now I go back to my circle tool from here on this intersection, and I put radius 6 centimeters.
AVS Media Demo.
That's a problem. Something is off. Radius 6. Oh, this one. 6.1.
AVS Media Demo.
Something definitely off. It should be touching this line. I'll check my measurements again. Okay, so on the radius, so from this line to here should be 10 centimeters. So it should be here.
AVS Media Demo.
Wait for the line to be green.
AVS Media Demo.
For some, I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Okay, so the guideline is
AVS Media Demo.
The guideline was in a different plane, so you have to be very careful of that. So you have to make sure. So what I like to do, I like the camera standard views on top. That way I'm always looking at it from the top down. Alright, so let's try it again. So it was 10 centimeters from here to here, so 10
AVS Media
centimeters.
Demo.
Okay. And now I just take my pencil tool, this point to there, then circle from the center to there, end point. So you know my shape is coming along nicely. So now you all go from
AVS
this end
Media
point
Demo.
to here. You're trying to close out the object. You go back to our center and create a 3 centimeters circle. Alright, and now we're at the point where, now this is the part that kind of confuses a lot of people. I think there are multiple ways to do this. You could use the freehand
AVS
tool and then
Media
just
Demo.
draw it and then adjust the line manually using this, using the move tool. Or I saw another, well, I figured another way to do it would be to use a 2-point arc. So you choose this point and this point, and you can
AVS
adjust the
Media
arc.
Demo.
Or maybe not that point. So maybe from like this point to this point.
AVS Media
And then
Demo.
well, there you have it. So now what we want to do now, before we pull our object, we need to clean up the lines. So we don't want this line going through it, definitely not. We don't need this line and we don't need this line. We need this line, but we don't need this one right here. and that's the basic shape of our object.
AVS Media
So now
Demo.
if you remember, this height was 15 centimeters. So what you want to do, you click onto the face of the object and start moving it up. Then you type 15 centimeters, and then that's the height. For this one it was 4.5, so you click, start moving it up, then put 4.5 centimeters.
AVS Media Demo.
And then now for this one, this was the height, or it should be the height of this. So a trick you can do, you click and drag and then move it along this face. You see this that blue diamond, I mean the on face. So yeah, that is in line with that. Alright, so now the last thing we need is our triangle.
AVS Media Demo.
So to get our triangle, what we need to do, just get our pencil tool, pretty simple. And then we'll go from this end point to here. That's going to create a face. And then we pull that tool from here to here. So you notice a problem. This is white and everything else is
AVS Media Demo.
gray. And if you look under your object, you see a lot of space. Well, you see this empty space. So this problem is caused. Well, this is because the faces in SketchUp are reversed. So if I quickly draw like a circle and it comes up
AVS
blue,
Media Demo.
this tells me that this object is reversed. So if I pull that object, it's going to pull out the base. And if I check under it, well, I guess it didn't work that time. But usually when the faces are reversed like that, they come out blue. So you have to select it and then reverse faces, and
AVS
then it
Media
will turn
Demo.
white. So that's what we need to do for ours, because if we don't, it's going to end up like that. So we need to start over. And then we need to use the select tool, which is this black arrow, and we go from left
AVS
to right.
Media Demo.
If you go from right to left, it selects all lines. If you go from left to right, it selects just the lines on the object. So now we're going to right click, reverse faces. And so what that does, when we actually do a push and pull, it will come out perfectly fine. 15 centimeters,
AVS Media Demo.
4.5 centimeters. And pull this one to here. But you see, we're still getting the problem. So another thing we could do, we could create for every time we do the push and pull tool,
AVS Media Demo.
every time we use it, it creates a new object. So to do that, we press Control. So that's CTRL. Control, and you see how the plus come beside the icon. Yeah, that means that it's creating a new face or object every time you use the push pull tool. So then now you pull it up to 15 centimeters. And then
AVS Media Demo.
you see under the button will be perfectly fine because it created a new face. So you're going to just continuously do that. 4.5. Once you press it once, I don't think you need to go back and do it again. Let's say my plus arrow is still there. But depending on what your SketchUp you're using. So then now for the final
AVS
step,
Media
just
Demo.
create our triangle from this end point to here. Then now we're going to do our same Control, so you get the plus, and then ta-da, our object is done. We can go around and clean up the lines, so we can just erase this line, and that's the great thing about using it as an additional face. If we didn't do that, when we erase these lines, it will completely destroy our object. We can't erase that one because that's where the curvature starts. But we can erase this one. You see the object is pretty smooth now. We need to get rid of these holes at the bottom, so you can just
AVS
select
Media
them
Demo.
and press delete, select and delete, and you're done. That's that. Now, Sarah saying you could paint it, so to paint it you just select it left to right, as I said. Right to left you select all the lines, and you don't want all the lines. So left to right, get your paint bucket, choose a random one. So
AVS Media
Select
Demo.
colors. And I just paint it that color. And that's that. You're done. And you made the first model in SketchUp. Simple as that.